we are talking about what is permissible within the accounting framework. I am not an expert on IFRS or something like that. If IFRS permits you to capitalize, I am sure that HDIL we capitalize interest rates on the expense incurred towards selling the building is always capitalized. So once it is fully done, the capital then it is. So whatever is permissible I am talking about, yeah. But he's got a complaint that that's very conservative nor informative. So expensing R&D, for instance, does understate earnings for high growth companies. So he's complaining about that. Let's forget that. Let's go into what all the intangibles: franchise, copyrights, trademark, patents. Okay, and sometimes intangibles can be in terms of the top-notch management, like Infosys, which what they did actually, they capitalized the human capital. Okay, loyal and well-defined trained force or technological know-how, whatever it is. These are more relevant and these are upcoming. But when you do capitalizing the top-notch management, it has got its own downside. Okay, and sometimes how would you value that? There is a question. Okay, you attach a premium, ad hoc premium. One is the book value approach. I have already told you. You can capitalize some of the expenses, or sometimes you attach a premium to that. But you cannot scientifically defend this, because there is a possibility that now you are over accounting or under accounting, rule of thumb. So there are three kind of intangibles. One are definitive cash flow generating intangibles, like you have a copyright. He gives an example of you get a copyright of publishing Damodaran book for the next 5 years. So there are definitive. So it is cash generating. Period is also definitive. So simple cash flow mechanism will solve that. So valuation approach, and the challenge is finite. There is no terminal value. These are is given challenges for the heck of giving the challenge, and not independent and cash flow generating. Brand names, morale of the workforce. So these are the things which is not definitive, not independently cash generating, but it helps you to generate cash. Suppose the brand of a Coke, yeah. If you are selling what should I say? When you go to Big Bazaar and all those places, they also sell Coke and some orange flavors and stuff like that. It's unbranded. Okay, so the price of that unbranded material or the similars, okay, is always lower than the branded material. In other words, what you feel is that the excess margin you get it due to the brand. Okay, you can work on that. That's what he's saying. But a lot of interesting work is done in that, and there are many ways of doing it, and there are future potential but no current cash flow. So this is one example is there. There are few examples on this. There are many examples on this. So if it's not cash flow generating today, suppose you have a patent. Okay, if you are that's a lot of Indian companies are there in the drug areas, isn't it? The drug findings, phase 1, phase 2 findings and all those things, but they are not going to generate cash today, but you have been spending on R&D and doing your efforts, like Amanox. We have an example in the presentation. Okay, so either you can spend all the expenses, it may not generate cash, but once you hit it, probably it will start generating cash. So there are situations like you can call it a call option, so you can value as an option. So this is what we are interested now. Less interested, more interested, this is okay. So it's given an example that the book is expected to generate 150,000 after all the expenses for 3 years, and then 100,000 for next 2 years. 40% of this cash flow are from large organization, predictable, stable. So the cost of capital applied is all ad hoc actually, 7%. 60% from general public, so it is erratic, more volatile. So the cost of capital is higher at 10%. And he has given you first 3 years 150,000, right? 90,000 and 60,000, 60% and 40%, and then last 2 years 100,000. So the valuation is very simple. Present value discounted at 7%, present value discounted at 10%. Not interesting, exciting example, copyright, okay. But in terms of exam, probably the easiest way to ask you question is in this actually. I can give you 2 more questions. Give me the valuation. Is just add up, discount it. So you can have a franchisee, but that also now is gaining popularity in India. You McDonald's actually now gives you a franchisee to you, and how to value the franchise? How do you do that? Very simple. Anybody? It's all what do you call it? Intuitive, isn't it? Whichever the earlier it should have been sold somewhere else would have been the benchmark for you, right? He has sold he has given a franchisee to R Mall, and you want to get it here, so it has to be somewhere around that, okay? And they serve you the special features. These are all enough, and sometimes they give you exclusivity. Forget that. You have to be careful about valuing a practicing doctor or valuing a restaurant which is dependent on a chef actually. So if the chef leaves, the valuation, whole valuation goes off. If it is a service dependent, when you do a valuation, you have to be very careful. Sometimes how much you have invested capital, you can do that. You can have a discounted cash flow valuation, or you can have a relative valuation. All this is possible. Let's take a look at this. Okay. So here comes valuing a Coke actually, the real life example. He has estimated that the life of the brand or expenses done covers over 20 years. So in the last 20 years, what the expenses done on advertising, he has taken that, amortized over a period of 20 years. So on the balance sheet, you got a valuation of 26,148. Instead of expensing it, he capitalized it and valuing at that level. And a small addition trick you can do with it is that now you can adjust for the inflation. So inflation index you apply on the capitalized value, and then you got another 50% addition to that. But it doesn't reflect the price what market pays you for a Coke brand for the stock, because it's all accounting. So what he has done is that you find a generic similar. Generic means which doesn't have a brand value, and he managed to find one generic similar for the Coke brand, which is called still it exists in Canada, which is called the Scott, and apply the same revenues here, okay, and apply all your factors. Is given you stable growth and constant growth. It's nothing but what we did on Canara Bank. Dividend discount model, 2-stage. And he arrived at Coke brand is valued at $79,000 million, and this is now Scott is valued at $15,000 million. Whatever is that. Yeah, the difference is due to brand. So you have, but is it possible to get suppose if I ask you, Chauhan, right? Chauhan comes and asks you to value Thumbs Up. How will you do that? Is there any generic similar? Can you do this? That's Chauhan's only, no? That's what I'm saying. So it becomes something whatever they sell in immediate near one is the one which we sell it in Big Bazaar, some other name. You pick up that, right? You pick up that price differential. Here what he has done, I'll tell you, he has gone by the operating margin. Operating margin of this Scott, generic one is 5.28 only, but operating margin, this is a real life example. No? Operating margins of Coke is 15.57. So the higher margin is due to the brand. So that's how he has gone. has to be. The revenues are not equal. The revenues are different. But to value my